What's up? What's up, everyone? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Alistar, what time is it in New Zealand? What time is it in New Zealand, Alistar?
Six a.m.
Dedication. I like it.
Bloody interesting, man. It's really good to catch up with you guys and and see what you're doing and what you've got on there, man.
No,
So,
been busy.
Yeah.
How are you on the beach? Is that a fake background behind you?
yes, unfortunately it is. I'm inside at this time in the morning. The sun is up, but it's probably about 10 degrees or thereabouts. So a little bit nippy. But how are you guys doing? You're keeping all well over there?
We're good. Like I said, I'm just
flat out.
Busier than flat out. All right, everyone. So listen, so mute yourselves so that we can talk. And then what I'd like to have is that any questions anyone has, you just type it in, or you can unmute yourself and ask questions. I'm just going to talk a little bit. Really, this is more of a time for me to share with you my experiences or what I'm doing right now with everyone I've been talking to, and what I think everyone else should be doing. So the first thing, I'm going to take this time to talk about is what are you doing to get the edge right now, right? I talked to Big Aiden over there the other day, and it's like, it amazes me that, now there's all these videos out of people throwing a ball up or doing some push-ups or doing some sit-ups. And the reality is, you guys, do you understand how hard our sport is? Because it's the hardest sport in the world for a reason. When you go through a practice that's your normal practice, I'm going to go ahead and say that minimum 8 times your heart rate is going up to the maximum and down. That means that feeling that all of us have where we're like, we know that feeling, I hope, or we've never really pushed ourselves, is that this is training your heart, and this is what gets you in shape, okay? So the reality is, unfortunately, and here in California, they just said another month for sure pools will be closed and beaches and things. So the reality is, most of you are going to be at home, dependent on your own working out for a month and a half. A month and a half. Now, if you're doing a couple days a week, some push-ups, throwing the ball up and down, like, that's something, but it's not enough. And I thought that this is a good time, because I've spoken to probably over 50 kids just in this last week. And hearing what they're not doing and hearing some of what they are doing has kind of just made me want to tell you guys the reality of what's going on, right? Like, let me break it down for you. You are going to work out 3 days a week and never get your heart rate up to 180 or 170 or 160 for a month and a half. Then the quarantine ends, hopefully, in a month and a half, but maybe 2 months. What do you think the first thing clubs are going to do is? Clubs are going to have you practice, right? It's time. We got JOs. We got big tournaments. We haven't been in the water forever. Let's go. Let's practice. Well, during that month and a half, if you have just been doing some push-ups or throwing the ball, you're going to get into that first practice. And if you've never gotten your heart rate up, or you're not in the shape to feel that, do you know how bad that first practice is going to be? Do you know how bad that first week and 2 weeks are going to be? But here's the reality. It's not just about how bad it's going to be for you. Do you know how long it's going to take you to get into the shape that you need to be? You guys, more than a month. But here's the other reality that I'm going to tell you. For that month, when you're out of shape, trying to get yourself into shape through swimming, through lifting, through doing practice, guess what you're going to be overusing? Your shoulders. That's right. Your shoulders, your hips, all these areas that are prime areas for us to get injured. So then after a month and a half and you're finally feeling in shape, all of a sudden you're injured. Now you have your senior year of high school or college or whatever there be, and finally season's there for you, and you can't participate 100%. You know, I've said this on a lot of calls, and I'm going to reiterate now. I truly believe that there are going to be 15 to 20% of the athletes in the world that are going to grow and become all-stars from this moment, because they're going to learn how to stay in shape. They're going to learn how to push themselves. They're going to learn what it is when they are on vacation to keep up with the ball, to keep in water polo shape. But unfortunately, I said like 15, 20, but talking to more and more kids, I'm going to go ahead and say there's going to be a 30 to 40% increase in injury for everyone else, because you're just not doing enough. The second thing I want to talk about, and going off of that, right? All of us are bummed, including me, we're all bummed that we can't play. But you guys and girls, right? What is, and coaches too, what is the goal when you are practicing? What, Aiden?
To get better.
That's right. To get better and to be the best. I mean, that's why I train, right? I never went into a training and was like, woo, I'm going to really suck it up today. Can't wait to not try hard today. No, I went into a training going, I am going to kill it because I want to be the best, whether it's on my team, whether it's the best, hardest trainer, whatever it is. So what do you actually have right now as an advantage? You have the ability to single-handedly not go through the motions with your practices, especially some of you outside of the meccas of water polo, not in Europe or in Southern California. This is an opportunity while everyone's sitting there kind of hanging out for you to get that edge. That's how I look at it. Hey, if I'm a player that's, in Chicago over there, and I see that, usually all these athletes in California are playing hundreds of games, and Europe, there are all these trainings. Well, everyone now is sitting at home, and a lot of them are in little tiny apartments. I am going to take this opportunity to, if I didn't have legs, I'm going to have the strongest legs that I could possibly imagine. If I didn't have strong shoulders, I am going to work on my shoulders like you've never seen. If I just wasn't the best player, I'm going to watch technique, immerse myself in watching water polo, watching players, being as motivated as I can, because now I have the time. There's no excuse. And then in a month and a half while everyone's trying to get back into it, you come with a smile on your face because you've been doing the right thing, because you have that edge. See, I looked at it always as a kid from Cali who could never, everyone always said, I'll never be as good as the Europeans, because they're Europe. They're from Europe. That's where water polo came from. And every day when I used to practice here, normally, I would think of that. I think of, there's 1,000 kids who want to go to Stanford. There's 5,000 kids who want to go play professionally and go to the Olympics. They're all trying hard. What is the edge? I have to do something extra every practice, every day. I got to do something extra. And at that time, I woke up at 5:30 to lift. At that time, I would go seek games out. Well, guess what, you guys? This isn't a time to sit here and mope. This is a time to get that edge, because I'm telling you, and we have thousands of people who email us and ask us questions, that most of them are not getting that edge. I'm telling you right now. And the second thing is why, I call all of us the COVID generation, but especially you youngins. The second thing that I want to say is why some of you will succeed is something called nutrition. Because the reality is as well, people, we're water polo players. We eat a lot of food. Because we play the hardest sport in the world, of course, right? One of the hardest things for a water polo player when they stop playing is figuring out what your diet is. Most of the athletes, you look back, most of the athletes finish playing and boom, 50 pounds, right? So here's the deal is you have the chance now to make that change. And if you make that now, you'll never have that in the future. But you guys, if you're eating the same amount that you're eating when you're training, but you're training 2 to 3 hours less, you think that's the good thing to do? No. Now, when you're a water polo player, I have theories on my nutrition, right? What I used to eat. I wasn't crazy because, you know, I ate well. I ate food, right? I ate fish, meat, chicken. I ate lots of vegetables, no Cokes, and I still ate chips and stuff. Limited, no fast food, limited sweets. But that's when I was training 6 to 7 hours a day, from 5 to 6 hours a day in high school. Now, I'm retired and I just went on did a 30-minute run and a 30-minute lifting session. I don't even eat near that because if I did, then I'd be 50 pounds overweight. So what are you doing right now? This is a time you got to understand that if you're working as hard as you can, and I don't think you need more than an hour, honestly, but if you want to go more than an hour, go ahead. If you have a pool, definitely more than an hour. But if you go a hard quality hour and a half, you know, as many times as you can, at least 3 days a week, but I'm saying 5 days a week, then you should definitely not be eating as much as when you were training. And it's got to come from you guys because mom and dad, hey, they've been used to cooking you a feast this big every day. And it's got to be you guys saying, hey, mom, dad, I'd like to cut it in half, or you know, a smart thing that I've heard a lot of the top performance athletes do now, because it is even hard for them. It's hard for us to limit and eat less, right? Because you're just used to it. A lot of them have just taken out sugar, which I see some faces like, oh my God, that's terrible. Well, this is a time again where I truly believe some of you will make sacrifices that will ultimately allow you to achieve your dreams and will go with you forever throughout your career, right? Nutrition, you guys, I think I can't say it enough. And then the other thing that I wanted to touch on, and then listen, if you have questions, write them in the chat area here. Yeah, I have some already. But the last thing I want to talk about is becoming a student of the game, right? And again, Big Aiden here, we had this talk yesterday. But guys, if you want to, again, I call you the COVID generation because I truly believe that this is an opportunity for you to become the smartest generation that we have had. Because not since years ago have you guys had the opportunity to sit and really analyze and study water polo. I get it. I try to tell people it's important, but I understand schedules, right? You have school, you have extracurricular, you have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it is. You have, you know, tons of things that you just don't have time to sit down and analyze a video. Well, now you do. Now you have the opportunity to, my personal opinion, is pick a player, right? You got Daniel over here, a defender, a player on the 1-2 side. Find a player. Watch Dennis Varga and see him for an entire quarter. And then the next day, watch him again for another quarter. And then the next day, pick someone different, right? Pick someone by position. If you don't have a position, try and watch every position. What position that interests you the most? Because now you're going to see this immersement for a month of 3 to 4 days a week, watching a quarter, scoring it on our app if you have it, and seeing how you do and seeing how if you're actually paying attention like you should be, you're going to start noticing things you've never noticed. And I said yesterday, I was on a call with all the Brazilians, and when I was a kid, man, my dad used to take me to games, and he never once told me, hey, watch this game. He said, watch this player. Watch Manuel Estiardi, who's the 6-time Olympian, who is my idol, because one day he asked me to watch him, and I realized Oh my God, that guy is really good. Then he said Kiko Peroni, who's the Brazilian guy. But I was watching Brazil, so I watched this guy. And to this day, I learned to move on the counterattack, how to separate, and he made me a better player. How many of us, besides this week, have actually had the time, and just raise your hand, to watch a game, follow a player, and write notes on that player? Raise your hand. Yeah, it's not that many. It's good that there's some, but it's not that many. Well, guess what? Now there's the opportunity. Now you have the chance. So, look, I'll answer some questions now, but I just want to reiterate that for you guys, I look at this as an area where I can take advantage of. There always is an area, right? How can I have that edge? This is how you can take the edge. The first thing when you're working out, right? If you have the ability of a spin class, a Peloton, or something in your house, hey, 2 to 3 days a week, do it. Do the spin class. It's the suckiest thing in the entire world. I still to this day dislike it, but it's the best thing to get you in shape. 2 to 3 days a week. If you don't have that, doing things like 100 mountain climbers and 20 burpees, right? And then followed by some circuit training for your shoulders, for your abs, for your hips. Do it again. Something that gets your heart feeling like that. 2 to 3 days a week. Now the other 2 to 3, hey, you can be, doing your push-ups. You can do your squats or do whatever you want. 2 to 3 days a week. So I would do every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You need to work out and work out hard. And you're going to see, you're going to do it, and it's going to suck because you haven't been doing it. But then in a week, it's going to feel good. You're going to feel good. And you're going to get better. And most importantly, you're getting that edge because other kids aren't doing that. Some aren't. And some are doing a lot more. But most aren't. And take that edge. Remember, nutrition, talk to mom and dad. Talk to mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever cooks your food, yourself, and sit down and say, hey, the reality is this is what I was working out every day, 3 hours, and this is what I was eating. I'm going to now limit snacking, or I'm going to now take out some sugar, or I'm going to now just notice, right? You probably don't need to crush carbs as much anymore. So these are things that you have that conversation with your parents and have it now. And lastly, I would think about the game scoring. How am I going to be smarter? Don't watch. We all tend to watch a game and watch every goal. Don't watch the goals. Watch a player and write something down about that player. Is he a great defender? Wow, I loved how he blocked the ball. Or just, he didn't do anything this game, but it was really nice how he just took that foul. Whatever it is, write it down. Because right now is the time for you to set goals. What are your goals? What are your dreams? Because we all have goals and dreams. And again, I've talked to some of you about this already, but it's easy to say, I want to be a doctor, and then just hope to be a doctor one day and just slowly hope that everything falls in place. Or to me, it's a lot easier to say, I want to be a doctor. And to be a doctor, I need to do X, Y, Z. And I'm going to first start being great grades here, and then great grades here, and then get into the school of my dream, and then next thing, and then the best of my class, and then set the little goals to achieve that big goal. What do you want now? What does this time when you're not playing, what do you want to be? Do you want to go play in a D1 college? Do you want to be an Olympian? Do you want to just go to a college? Take the edge now. This is the time. Do that extra bit. And for those of you who are juniors and seniors in high school, now's the time to write the coaches, or even sophomores, write the coaches and tell them, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm watching 30 minutes of video 3 days a week. I'm doing spin or something high intensity 30 minutes a day, and I'm lifting the other 3 days a week because I'm going to take advantage of this time and be the best player I can be. And tell your coach that. And you tell them about nutrition too, and how you're setting goals. I was trying to find it for today, but I actually have a piece of paper that says, in terrible handwriting because I just couldn't write, and that says goal to win a gold medal. And then I started writing all the other goals, right? Was like, be the best player in the world, play professionally, go to the Olympics, go to Stanford. And I went all the way down. And the first goal I had, the first thing I had written down was break a minute in the 100 free. Like, that's pathetic. Like, that was my first goal, break a minute. And then once I broke a minute, it was a 55. Then it was a 52. Then it was a 50, right? Then weight-wise, I was 155. I wanted to get to 185, 90. That's what they said, like most the skinniest for a guy as short as I am, they need to be around 185. So I had to put on 30 pounds in 3 years to make the Olympic team. So again, I woke up at 5:30. I was in the gym 6 days a week, smart shoulders, maintaining core, but also trying to get big. 3 years later, guys, 47 in the 100 freestyle and 190 pounds. And I went to my first Olympic team, and then 4 more to make it 5. So, all right, look, I'll answer any guys' questions you have. But really, look, this is about you because I really want you to take advantage of it. This is the time to have that edge. So please ask questions. So the first is, can running help get you in shape for water polo? 100%. 100%. Now, again, body types, Jaden, are different, you know? Like, running 100% helps me. For some of, like, the bigger guys, it might, you know, and it might hurt your knee. Some people just have issues running. So if it's hurting your knee, don't do it. But if it doesn't, 100% running helps. Right? Since I've been retired, I run 3 times a week, you know, and for me, swimming's easy. Running now is just like such a nightmare, but it's so great for water polo because running, you do feel that heart rate, right? That feeling of like, oh, I want to stop. Well, that's what you feel in swimming, and that's what you feel in a game. So 100%, if you can run, that's better. Is running slow for long better or running faster for sprints? Devin, good question. And to me, there's 2 answers for that, right? So running longer, okay? That's endurance. So that's going to shed more weight. That's going to keep you, you know, in shape. That's kind of that's a great way. Like I said, if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to just stay in shape, go for a nice 30-minute run, 20-minute run even. That's a nice way to keep your heart rate. It's never going to go too high, but you're staying in shape. The more you can do a long run, the better. The sprints is what I was talking about. The sprints is like the 2 days a week where you go, all right, I'm going to do 10 sprints and I'm going to take all out and then take 30 seconds to do them 10 times in a row. It's only 10 minutes, but that's where you need your heart rate up and down because that's the reality of what you're going to feel when you get back into water polo. But Devin, if you can run long every day, do it. Do it because it'll help you getting back into the pool so much easier. Any players on who to watch as a smaller driver player? Yes. So, Dylan, I would say you would watch Felipe Peroni, number 10 from Spain. To me, he's the best player in the world right now, honestly. The guy he's not the quick driver. He's just super smart. He controls the game. He moves well. I mean, he's older now. I'll give you another one from Spain, number 3. His name, I kind of forget. So number 3 from Spain. Another good one for a driver. I mean, just our own Johnny Hooper, right? Guy's super small, but man, is he quick and he moves a lot. So it'd be nice to watch him. From Hungary, I'd use. You could go a Dennis Varga from Hungary, right? But those are all guys. Watch guys in your position and see what ones that you connect with. Because let me tell you, you're gonna find some. You're gonna be like, oh, I like this guy, and then you're gonna start following him more. Okay. Joao, is 3 days weightlifting plus 2 days cardio stairs good? That's great. Joao, that's great. That's exactly what you want, right? You want to make sure that you're getting that lifting in, and then at least 2 days where you're killing yourself. But if you're only going to do cardio and stairs for 2 days. Let's make sure it's a mix of what Devin said, of like a longer / sprint. So I would do like maybe 10 to 15 minutes of, if it's stairs, of like a moderate slow, and then finish with 8 minutes all out where you're dying, right? That way you're getting everything, because that weightlifting day, the reality is usually your heart rate's not getting, you're not dying unless you're doing circuits. And for me, weight training was always lighter weight, but a lot of circuits. So I go through it fast. Again, a lot of it was shoulders. And guys, going back to injuries and stuff, we have tons of videos on our app. Dude, shoulders, hips, core, back. These are 4 things that you gotta do. Focus on. Hips can be fire hydrants, or just like the scorpions, like flexibility stuff. Yoga is a great thing to do right now. If you have, everyone's doing free classes online. Go look up a yoga class and do it twice a week. You don't have any idea how much more flexible you'll be. I'll give you an example of flexibility. Everyone's like, hey, I'm not flexible. Yeah, no one's flexible if you don't stretch. So when the Olympic team, every tournament, we would do all this routines and stretching and things like that. But and all of a sudden, after every tournament, I could touch my toes, and I was the one who never could touch his toes. But after every tournament, I was easily touching my toes because of how much I was stretching. So again, just stretch. Finish your practice and stretch. All right, hold on. Let me see here. What about lifting 40 pounds? Or who are the best workouts for set defenders? So workouts for set defenders, you guys, it's legs, right? Legs. That set defender that gets and goes and pushes. So 2 things for set defenders. A, you need legs to push the guy out. And B, I would watch technique, right? Watch some of these guys. We have a perfect set defending drill and technique defending the drive by Maggie. Jaden, it's all about staying in the lane, staying in front. To stay in front, you got to be in shape as well. But legs, it comes down to. Watch Andro Bushle from Croatia. Watch Alexander Ivovic from Montenegro. These are amazing defenders. Watch how they defend, right? So watch those guys, but legs is what it comes down to. What about lifting 40 pounds? Yeah. Hey, man, you lift 40 pounds, lift 40 pounds. You know, you got a 100-pound there, go ahead and lift it. Favorite exercise to build explosiveness. So I'll tell you what it is. It's funny because I get looked at when I was playing in the gym all the time, because I did so many explosive and little weight exercises that, all these guys, like, these big dudes who want to be as strong as they can be with biceps out to here. They're like, who is this guy? And then someone tells them, oh yeah, he's a 5-time Olympian. They're like, oh, whoa, he must be doing it right. Then they come up and ask me, they're like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? So what I would do is I would do 2 things that I like the most. 3, 1 for legs, 1 for abs, 1 for chest. So I do assisted push-ups. So with the knees down, because I felt it was better for my shoulders as a water polo player who, obviously 5 Olympics, right? There's a lot of shoulder wear and tear. So I would do 20 clap jumps, then 20 clap jumps with my hands in. So 40 push-ups, right? Then I would go to stair, and these are all things you can do at home. I'd go to a 2-foot bench, and I'd step up as high as I can, right? As explosive as I can. Step up with my knee trying to come up all the way here. Step up, 20 and 20. Then I get down and I do 20 V-ups where I fly my legs up in my hands. Fly my legs up in my hands. And I do that 3 times. That sucks. That is like everything terrible, but it's great for explosiveness. What goalies should you watch? That's a great idea. Just that game we posted the other day, Spain versus Hungary, those are 2 good examples of goalies. One, the Spanish goalie is tiny, right? He's tiny, and so it's good to see how smart he is and his movements and everything. The other one is the Hungarian goalie, who's just crazy. The only reason this guy's good is because he gets in their head. But I think it's great. Merrill Moses, our goalie, to me, the best in our history, he used to block a ball and go, whoa, whoa, like do this weird bird call at the players, and they would be like, what? But then when they wanted to shoot again, they thought twice, right? Because he's smiling at him, and the Hungarian does that. But I think those are two good examples. One, technically, and they're not the biggest, tallest guys. Otherwise, probably the Italian goalkeeper, I'd say, is one of the better goalkeepers in the world. I really like him. Is watching old school water polo still useful, like Terry Schroeder, but the style is different? Yes. All water polo is relevant to watch. So, Terry in his time was one of the best, still one of the greatest centers ever, and it's a different time. But you know what? There's still very similarities. And I'll tell you, these old school videos, they do it correctly. My biggest thing is how you hold the ball, how you fake. These guys, every one of them, ball underneath, Statue of Liberty position, pass, breaststroke kick, over your hip. They were amazing. Now, we don't do the fundamentals every day, so it's games, and we actually don't have the same fundamentals as they do. Go back and watch these guys. Go back and watch a video by a guy called Tamas Farago. He's amazing. Everything is correct. For a skinny center, look, there's a lot of, and that's a great question, because there's a lot of centers that are just huge and strong, and that's an advantage. And there's a lot that aren't as big and strong. Piljetovic from Serbia, the Hungarian center. I mean, he is like 6'8", though, so that's, I guess, he's skinny 6'8", though. Let me try and think. Even the U.S., you take Alex Obert, right? He's not the biggest guy. Halleck is a big guy. Alex Obert has to play multiple positions. Just look at our team again. You could look at Luca Cupido, right? That guy can post up against anyone, and Luca's not the biggest guy out there. It's really about being explosive. So look at guys that are explosive post up, and look at, like I said, the Hungarian center, and I think not the Croatians, but the Serbian center. Those are good ones to take a look at. Hold on. I have concerns getting back too quickly. Yeah, I think, look, this idea of people getting back too quickly, my recommendation as a coach is spend, and I know it's going to be hard because you're going to have all these tournaments and things you got to qualify for, but I would make sure that your players are doing everything right now, nutrition, sport-wise, to be fit and in shape. And then when practice starts, my recommendation is 2 weeks of passing, shooting, fundamentals, or like legs over your hips, and long swimming. 2 weeks, as much as you can. Then don't even attempt to scrimmage or do something like playing after 2 weeks. Let them get this base. And the swimming's going to suck. It should be like 5-6 grand. Women to watch, look, there's tons. Every single woman on our women's team is amazing. So go watch what position you are, and go ahead and ask them. Pilates, yes. Kendo, what's up? Make sure, yes, do Pilates. You kidding me? That's great. If you can go 3 times a week, do it whenever you can. Anything like that, this is cross-training. That is an edge right there. That's something that you have, right? An instructor at home. Let's take advantage of that. What workouts to get bigger and faster if you're 13? Again, if you're 13, I don't think you need to worry so much about getting bigger and faster. I think this is the time where you can really take advantage of getting fit and working on the little muscles so you don't get injured. So if I'm one of you young guys, I am doing at least six shoulder exercises a day, guys. I'm doing sit-ups. I'm doing lower back. I'm doing hips. I'm doing yoga and Pilates or flexible drills, because the reality is, for you, if you're doing that, you're going to get back into it, and you're going to be your little muscles are going to be so strong that you're setting yourself up for the future. And again, it's not just that, it's getting your heart rate up, and it's also your nutrition too. All right, last one here. Let's see. Players to watch for a guard position. My coach says that I push back from the set player, then come on them and slap the ball out of their hand. How do I stop pushing my chest of the player and stay with them without being ejected on top? Yeah, look, the new game, anything in back of the player, they're just going to call it. So first off, let's talk for the players. I would say let's look into like let's look into Maggie when she defends. Look at her in the fourth quarter defending because she's a smaller player that shuts down everyone. Look at the 2008 gold medal game or 2012 women's gold medal game and watch Maggie shut down the 6'2" huge Spanish center, right? Other ones to watch where the Russian is awesome defender, Hungarian as well. The Italian more defense, so Hungarian and Russian defenders. But as far as stopping from that, look, it's all about what position you're putting yourself in. If you are behind a player sitting, you're going to be ejected. It's just, that's it. That's just what the referees, unless the guy steps out for a shot and you miss, you got to be constantly getting in front of them, constantly on the side, high on the left, right? Super high. If the ball turns, can you rotate in front or can you fully rotate to the other side so that you're on this player? So like if I'm here, right on the thing, if the ball's over here, I got to be super high here. I don't know if we can see this, probably, yeah. You want to be super high here. And if the ball's down here, right? The ball's over here. Is it stepping in front? What I'm going to do is I'm going to be high on the lane, what I did as a smaller player, and I'm going to rotate when they're at 3 and guard them like a center, and then when the ball goes back here, I'm high on the right side. That's what I'm doing, right? This is a way for you never to be stuck in this position. And if you are, and you will be, because the reality is it happens, don't be comfortable sitting behind. You got behind. Think of it as, I messed up. I got to get myself out of this. Push. Get to the side and get back in front of them. That makes a defender, you a defending nightmare. So, yes, do pull-ups. Awesome workout. Everyone, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. I think I'm going to break down some video later this week. I think our podcast, my second podcast, comes out today. I have my daughter's Frozen headphones on, so don't judge me. All right, everyone. Peace. Hope it was good. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. That was awesome. Have a good day.
Thanks, Alistair. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
What's the app?
Tony.
Wait, what's the app?
6-8 Sports app on
6-8 Sports.
Yeah, 6-8 Sports.
All right, thank you, Tony.
All right, see you, Charlie.
Thank you.
See you guys.